Hello, Paul Gillings here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get the best tone, how it all works on your harmonica. So yeah, let's talk tone. First of all, my first thoughts as to what influences harmonica tone is the material of which your harmonicas are made of. So for example, you may prefer or like the sound of plastic body combs, as in this particular Sadel Session Steel here. This Sadel Session Steel has a plastic comb. Or you may prefer, this is a 100th anniversary marine band, Hohner marine band, with a wooden comb. So these are both in C, and that's the first material to focus on. However, there is another factor in here, is that this Session Steel has stainless steel reeds, and the Hohner marine band has brass alloy reeds in there. So okay, so this is going to be a rough test because there's tons of other things, as we'll see as the video goes on, of other things that can influence harmonica tone. So I'm trying to play both exactly the same. I'm not putting any hand gestures or shaping the tone with the inside of my throat too much or anything like that, or any of the other things we're going to go on to discuss. I'm just playing them, and I think it might have something to do with the way that the backs are constructed. So we've got materials, we've got construction. That's a plastic, that's a wooden, quite different tones. That one feels slightly rounded, slightly softer. That one slants slightly fuller and a little bit more volume. However, I know which is easier to play and which I prefer playing, and that would be the Sadel. So other materials, so we've got plastic, we've got wood, we can have metal bodied harmonicas. These often have a reputation. So this is a Sadel Lightning, stainless steel body, and metal bodied harmonicas amongst harmonica have a bit of a reputation for being a little bit harsh, a little bit steely, a little bit metallic, funnily enough. Now that has the stainless steel polished reeds from Sadel, and I think has a lovely warm tone for a metal-bodied harmonica. And to be honest, I haven't found many metal-bodied harmonicas that do sound harsh. They all sound nice to me. In my opinion, it's not entirely where the tone comes from. Tone is multi-causal. We're just talking about the materials that it's made of. So we have here, in comparison, then we have a Hohner crossover, which has the bamboo comb. And I'm going to compare it to my rather tasty, and this is a bit of a favourite of mine, the Andrew Zajac composite combs into a golden melody. However, those crossovers that's a tasty, tasty harmonica. Okay, so yeah, again, slightly different tones. I'm finding personally, I like the Andrew Zajac. It's a little bit warmer and it plays much nicer, and I find this one to be a lot more upfront and in your face. It's a bit angrier. But I do have like other things like the construction. For example, Lioska harmonicas, the reed dimensions are slightly different to other reeds as well. I mean, I think Hohners and some Hohners have more longer slot reeds, so think about the construction of that. Lioskas can have a reputation for being a little bit honky, and see if you can see what I mean. So I have three harmonicas in the key of D here. So I have a Sadel Session, which has brass reeds. I have a Hohner Rocket in D. Seems very upfront, very sort of whoa, rowdy harmonica that. And then I have the Lioska. So let's do the Lioska first. Let's do a bit of a run on the Lioska. Yeah, that honky tone is there. You automatically, whether it's my go-to instinct on it. So the Sadel Steel. That's slightly rounded, slightly warmer. And then we have the Hohner Rocket. Slightly more, it's got a bit of a, even the way it plays, I don't know if it's a reed setup or something, it's a bit kind of, rah, it wants to go. So So the construction, the material of the harmonica can make a difference. I'll leave it to you to decide which one you prefer or how much of a difference that's going to make. For me, the big one that does for tone is the physiology. Well, there's two really. It's the physiology, and the next thing after that I'm going to talk about will be the attack and decay. So let's go on to done materials. Let's talk about the physiology of playing the harmonica. So when you play your harmonica, are you stood up? Are you sat down? Are you hunched over? Are you giving where because the harmonica doesn't have its soundboard like a lot of other instruments. It doesn't have a soundboard, it doesn't have a resonating chamber. It does have chambers where the wind chambers go down, where the air goes down, but it doesn't have those parts of it that we can change massively before we put the harmonica in the mouth. We have to make those ourselves, I believe. So, have you got like a good resonating chamber? Have you got a good resonating chamber in there? You can hear with my voice. So, harmonica is a very personal tone, and if you don't have those places open, for starters, then the air when you pull it through in my next section where I talk about attack and decay won't be able to get through. So let's start off. So for example, if we start down here, and we open stuff up, we can go from that very thin, that very that kind of almost where we're aching. So basically what I'm doing is, as I'm leaning down, I'm crushing everything up. I'm doing the same in my throat as well, and I'm opening up everything else towards the end of the note. So let's start again with the sort of down there. Let's start on a higher note. It gets bigger and brighter as you open up all those airways. Now your tone comes, partly from there. So once we've chosen our materials, we've chosen our composition of harmonica we like, we can then start to open up those chambers, open up our sound chambers towards get that tone that we like. So yeah, what are you doing with the inside of your mouth? So we've opened up this bit, we've opened up the inside of my mouth here, and I think opening up the hands too. Joe Felisko has some excellent advice on how to shape tone just with your hands. Douglas Tate, chromatic harmonica, British chromatic harmonica player, God rest his soul, had some wonderful ways to get the best tone out of your harmonica, shaping it with your hands. So he would say, like, put the heels of your hands together and then twist them so they're just in that nook together there. And then so you put them together in that nook, and then you twist them so the heel of your hands together, and then lay it up like that. And then you can shape the tone of your harmonica through that avenue there. Now, I'm not a great proponent of the hand technique. I really wouldn't profess to be an expert on that. I just rely on some information of how better you can shape your tone. But also, even the open hand compared to the closed hand, even that can just shape your tone, really very differently depending on what you want. So, not just for the effect of the wah, not just for that. You can have the, or the more rounded. Obviously, when you get to amplification, microphones and all that stuff, putting a microphone in change everything. Not going to talk about amplification and microphones in this particular video. There are many people who are much better at that sort of thing, so I'll leave that to them for the time being. So, what have we got? We've got physiology, the stance, the open throat, the open closed hand shapes that can shape all that. The next thing that I think helps shape your tone is how you approach each individual note. Attack, sustain, and decay. How you go into the note, how you hold the note, and how you come off that note as well. If you're, for example, when I learned to play the recorder at school, because they teach that in English schools, they hate parents, they must teach them that instrument. They say tut, don't blow. So you start every note like that. Now, you and I know that we don't want every note to start with that kind of harsh, like attack. We want them to start gently and nicely. However, if we do start a note, then start it like you mean to. I mean, there's so many sort of approaching notes tentatively because you're either scared about how it's going to sound or it's going to come out, especially if you're learning and stuff. It's going to be a bit sort of. Now, yeah, that tone up. I've heard so many times from local harmonica players. And if you just change the way you attack those notes and make those notes stand in themselves as parts of being as well, or not unintentionally being part of a sequence. It's the same thing, but it has more dance to it because I made each note stand by itself instead of... And given each note, I just managed to get there. I just had enough breath to get there. Play each note like you mean it. A little bit of vibrato on there as well, a little bit of shakiness just to give it a little bit of extra professionalism if you like, but even without it. See, I got the "oh" there because I opened my throat towards the end of the note. So yeah, how do I attack the note? Am I going till the reed comes into action? Or am I going straight into? Am I tutting there to get it to go? Again, referring back to my my great friend Douglas Tate, says he starts with a soft G with a G on the draw, and then a soft G on the blow note. Are a lovely way to start the note, and it starts the note with confidence as well, and builds the tone of the note. How are we fading off that note? Are we just stopping the air? Are we just stopping breath and letting the reed trail out on its own, or are we stopping the note with our tongue? With those tucks, with that harshness. Think about how that note starts and ends. It definitely affects its tone, the way you approach it, and then the sustain of it as well. Are you giving it some vibrato? Are you giving it some tremolo, whichever one's tremolo or vibrato? Yeah, you know, so I'm sure there's a very clear definition. I can't remember exactly what it's right now. Someone please put me right. Please put me right. Please tell me which one's which. I forget. I look it up and then I bloom and forget. But please, someone tell me. One is an alternation in pitch, and the other one is an alternation in the timbre and the tone. So you can go. How you hold the note. So let's attack the note nicely, hold it and sustain it, and then fade off a bit. We let it fade off lovely. Then instead of, it can get honky. It can get like not what we're really after. So, but again, you might want that for some things. Don't throw away any of these sounds. All these sounds are good, depending on what it is you want to do. Just make sure that when you want that sound, you mean that sound, and that's what you do. So let's recap. Let's put together like the harmonica, what it's made of, the material, the composition. Do you like all the bits it's made for? What type of reeds, type of body, type of cover plates, because I have seen some with wooden cover plates and they sound a little bit on the dull side. So yeah, see what you think to that. Then talk about your physiology, your stance, your resonating chambers, where the note goes after it's left the harmonica, the hands, where the placement of microphone, and then put together with the attack and decay of the note, attack, sustain, decay of that particular note. All these things, put them all together, and I think that is your harmonica tone. And in a clamshell, he says. However, Quest for Tone is one that takes us a lifetime still on it, but it's well worth it. I think a number of harmonica players are utterly distinguishable by their harmonica tone. It gives us our individualism, and it should definitely be a lifetime quest too. But I think it's worth it, completely worth it. So have fun on yours. Let me know how you're getting on, and I'll see you again soon for another lesson. Thanks very much.